Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's been a while since I've done a video, so I'm really excited to share my card with you today. This is my design team project for the Simon Says Stamp Wednesday challenge. The challenge is something new and we're showcasing products from Whimsy stamps. I decided to use the Adopt Don't Shop cat stamp set and the Adopt Don't Shop dog stamp set, along with this cool slimline marquee die. I loved both of these stamp sets, so I figured new pet, people always get new pets, so that's something new. If you got some new crafty goodies for Christmas, you can use those for this challenge, or New Year's, new baby, new job, anything along those lines. But I thought both of these stamp sets were so adorable, so I decided to use them. So I kind of did a sample of how my card's going to go here, just because I was trying to figure out what part of each stamp I wanted to use. And so that's kind of what you see off to the right there. But I am going to use the Slimline Marquee. I'm going to use a black frame. And I'm going to start out stamping these on some Express It blending card, which is Copic friendly. And then I'll chop it up from there. I'm only going to use a portion of each stamp. But look how cute this is. There's so many cute cards you can make with this whole image. But I am going to swap out the sentiment there. It says Adopt Don't Shop, which is really cool. Realistically, I don't see me using this card, so I'm going to end up swapping the sentiment out, but that was just my sample anyway. So I'm using some Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm going to stamp it on my Copic friendly paper here, because I'm going to use my Copic markers to color these little cuties. Some of my image didn't stamp very well, so I'm just going to use a Copic multiliner to go over certain areas. I just didn't press good enough in the center when I was stamping it, so easy fix. I'm going to make some masks because I'm going to do some ink blending behind my little critters here. So I'm using the full adhesive Post-it notes. And then I'm just going to mask the portion of the image that I'm actually going to use. And I spent a minute trying to map out exactly which portion of each image I was going to have in my little window, because I really didn't want to have to cut these down, but I had to make a sacrifice. I'm going to use the actual Slimline Marquee die to trace exactly where I want to cut it, so that way I can just cut them at the same time when I take them to my die cutting machine. And I'm just looking at my sample there and kind of eyeballing where I cut it and just trying to match it up the best I can. Really wanted that cute little wiener dog in the window, but I just thought the left side was better because I could get 3 dogs in the little window as opposed to only 2. So I'm sorry, wiener dog. Get you next time. I erased my pencil marks before I do any ink blending, because once you ink blend over pencil marks, they're stuck there. They ain't going away. Learned that one the hard way. Then I'm just masking off my images so I can do some ink blending. I left it, I'm going to trim it down, but I am going to leave a little bit to hang over, just so I don't want to cut it right on the edge and then, end up getting ink on the dog there where I don't want it. So I'm just being cautious. I'm going to ink blend. I'm going to start out the little bottom square where my sentiment is going to be. I'm going to use Wilted Violet Distress Oxide ink, and then I'm going to move on to Peacock Feathers, and the top window will be Wild Honey. Now this paper right here is the Express It blending card. I don't normally use that for ink blending, but the Bristol Smooth cardstock that I normally use was a little bit of a different color, so I thought it would be noticeable. So I just thought I would try ink blending on the Copic, the Express It blending card, and I really didn't like how it turned out. So I'm going to end up swapping that out, but I'll show you a comparison here in a second. So for the kitties, I'm using peacock feathers. And I'm just inking the bottom of the window. I wanted it to kind of fade off into the white so that the top of each window is white. Which is why I thought the different color white would be possibly noticeable. Then I'm just going to take off my masks and then get ready to do some Copic coloring. I don't know why I was being so careful. I was thinking I could reuse the mask, but that's kind of silly because if I use this stamp again, I would have to mask the entire image. So I guess I could mask it off in 2 sections, but probably be easier just to mask or to fussy cut the whole image. It's not that hard once you cut off the whiskers, which you don't need to, you can ink blend over those and it's not noticeable. So once you cut the stuff like that off, it's much easier to fussy cut images like this. All right, so I decided just to try the Bristol Smooth and see if it was noticeable that it's a different color white. And see, the one on the left is the Express It blending card, and it just didn't blend as well as the Bristol Smooth cardstock does on the right. So thankfully, because it's just a little portion of the white showing, you really can't notice that it's a different color white than the other 2 windows. So I was happy about that. But I am going to end up using that other piece that I ink blended up in the top left there. I'm going to make a couple different sentiments just because I wasn't sure which sentiment I wanted to use for this card. Yeah, like I said, I really liked this sentiment, adopt, don't shop. I think it's so important, but I just don't see where I would ever use a card like that for me personally. So I'm going to do a couple other sentiments too, and that's a perfect one just to try it out on. The older I get, it seems like the more visual I have to be. I have to see things. Don't know why. Am I getting less imaginative maybe? That's scary. I don't know. All right, I'm going to stamp some paw prints. See, I even had to try the paw prints out on my sample piece to see how it was going to look. So I'm using the anti-static powder over the whole frame there. And then I'm just going to stamp a bunch of paw prints out. And I'm going to use just clear embossing powder I thought looked the best, because I didn't really want it to stand out like it would if I used white or silver or something. But I thought it was just cool. I just wanted subtle paw prints all over it. Both stamp sets have paw prints in it, but the cat set has both a solid paw print and then outline. So I'm using both of those. These paw prints are nice and small, but another thing I like about these stamp sets is they both have a little bit bigger size paw print. So you have options. The bigger one it's about the same size paw print as you see on the Simon Says stamp clear ink pad up in the top right hand corner. The bigger one is about that size, but what's cool about it is the dog set has the solid paw print and the cat set has the outline of the same size paw print. So they both sets work really well together. I like that about this. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of Copic coloring, and like always, I'm going to leave just a little bit of the coloring in the video, and then I'll cut out the rest just so this video doesn't get too long. And I'll list all the colors I'm using over on my blog, since this is the only image I'll be coloring. I love this color combo for orange kitties though. This is my go-to color combo that I use for orange kitties all the time. So I hope everyone had a good holiday. Mine was pretty good after I got my health issues out of the way. Of course, I ended up in the emergency room the week before Christmas, the day I was going to go out of town to go Christmas shopping. Actually, ended up in the emergency room for a few days with that horrible NG tube up my nose that I absolutely hate. But I'm very grateful that my emergency room let me stay in the emergency room for a few days because it's easier to fly me out from there than it is if I'm admitted. So I kind of had a private room in the emergency room, if that's possible. There's a few rooms that you can close the door. So they gave me one of those, and they actually brought in a hospital bed, which is much comfier than the gurney beds that are in most emergency rooms. So I was very grateful for that. And ended up I didn't need to be flown out. So many prayers I was praying during that time. But got to come home, and it said to be on clear liquids for a few days, and it actually cleared up itself. So I was so thankful and grateful, and I kept praying. I just did not want to spend Christmas down in San Francisco away from my family. Couldn't figure out what we were going to do if that happened, and luckily my prayers were answered and I was able to stay home. So kind of put a little damper on my holidays, but didn't have to go to San Francisco, so it could have been worse. It left me scrambling for Christmas gifts, but thank God for Amazon. December always flies by. I think that's, out of the whole year, that is the one month that just seems to fly by. It's been an entire month since I even posted a video, and I try to post every week. But December, it just, as soon as it's December, things just get crazy. Actually, it starts Thanksgiving weekend, because I always do a craft fair that weekend, and from there, it feels like the month goes by in a week. And that's without getting sick. But it always wears me down. Last December, I was in the hospital too. It popped up on my Facebook memories. Does anyone else feel like December flies by every year? Just wondering if it wears anyone else down. I love it. I love December. I love the holidays and the hot chocolate and all the Christmas lights and, Christmas music. Love that. I allow myself to listen to Christmas music the entire month because it's so cheerful. I love listening to it. Husband, not so much, but I love it, especially when I'm wrapping presents or decorating the tree or the house or something. Always got to have Christmas music. And I just love all the Christmas festivities, so I'm certainly not complaining. Just wondering if anyone else feels like it flies by in the blink of an eye. All right, so I'm cutting my card base. Let's see. So the die itself is 3 inches by 8 inches. So I cut a piece of fog cardstock as my background at 3 1/4 by 8 1/4, just to give it a little bit of a border. So my card base, I cut 6 1/2 by 8 1/4. And I'm using my Gina K Connect glue to put it all together. I have to say, I'm still loving this glue. Not only does it give you a little bit of wiggle room, but it also holds really well. I'm really liking this whole SLIMLINE die collection from Whimsy Stamps. I see there's quite a few of them now. And I'm not sure if it's a new collection, but as far back as September on their website, every month they've added a few more. So there's quite a few, and they're all really great. I assume they're all 3 by 8, which is a good size, but Whimsy Stamps just has really, really cute stamps. As I was looking through them on the Simon Says Stamp website, I really liked quite a few. It was hard to decide which stamps and dies to use for this challenge. Oh my gosh, there's a stamp set called Cone of Shame. It is hilarious. That was my second choice if I didn't use these, but I went with the Adopt Don't Shop stamp set. But after I placed my order, I had to go back in and place another order because I had to get that stamp set. It is too funny. Gotta check it out. All right, and then I'm not adding any embellishments to this. I felt like the paw prints were kind of enough and I didn't want to overdo it. So I'm just gonna glue these all in place. And this die would be really great to do a shaker card too and have little shaker bits in each window. I thought that would be cute too. I'll have to do that the next time I use this. And then just to add a little something fun on the inside, I took the solid paw print from the cat set, and then I just kind of did a zigzag pattern with some fog ink. It's a nice subtle color, so you could still put a sentiment or a message on the inside and not have it be too overpowering. And I'm going to use my black gel pen to go over the noses on the 3 dogs. As I did for the cats, I did pink noses for them. So, and you know what? I think I'm going to go back and do some crystal glaze on all of the noses. I didn't even think about that. That would be cute. Anyway, that is my card for this week. So I'll have all the supplies I use listed and linked in my video description below and over on my website. So head over there if you want more information on this card, including like all the Copic colors I used and how to enter the challenge. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next week. Bye.